Hello, everyone. Your greatest battles are fought in silence, not in front of a crowd, not where people can see, but in the hidden moments when no one is watching. It is in these quiet battles that the strongest warriors are made. The world only sees the results, success, resilience, power, but they rarely witness the struggle behind closed doors. Think about it. When do doubts creep in? When do temptations strike the hardest? It's not in the middle of applause or under the bright lights of recognition. No, they come in the dead of night when you're alone with your thoughts. They come when you're tired, when your motivation fades, when no one is there to encourage you. That's when the real battle happens. The fight to keep going, the fight to stay disciplined, the fight to silence the voices that say, you're not enough. Most people believe battles are won by showing strength in public. They think success is about proving themselves to others, about being recognized. But the truth is, the victories that matter most are the ones no one sees. The moment you resist an old habit when no one is around. The moment you choose discipline over distraction when no one is holding you accountable. The moment you silence your fears before they take root. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who shout the loudest. They are not the ones who constantly declare their struggles or seek validation for their pain. They are the ones who fight without an audience. They win wars that no one claps for. They go through storms without announcing the thunder because they know that true strength is not proven through words. It is revealed through endurance. But here's the problem. Most people want recognition for their struggles. They want someone to acknowledge their pain, to validate their suffering. And while there is nothing wrong with seeking support, relying on external validation weakens the power of internal resilience. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many people sympathize with you, no one can fight your demons for you. That battle is yours alone. Every great leader, every successful individual, every person who has ever achieved anything of real significance, they all have something in common. They fought silent battles that no one will ever know about. They made decisions in the dark that shaped their future. They disciplined themselves when no one was forcing them to. And because of that, they emerged stronger, unshaken, and unstoppable. So, the next time you find yourself struggling in silence, remember this. It's in those unseen moments that your strength is forged. It's when no one is watching that your character is tested. And it's in those silent battles that your future is determined. Because the greatest victories are not the ones the world celebrates. They are the ones you win when it's just you and the fight. Demons don't fear your strength. They fear your discipline. Strength is temporary. It comes and goes, rises and falls, depending on the circumstances. You can feel powerful one day and weak the next. You can be motivated today and exhausted tomorrow. Strength is emotional. It is reactive. But discipline is constant. It does not depend on how you feel. It does not require motivation. It is the one thing that remains firm even when everything else collapses. That is why demons, whether they come in the form of fear, temptation, doubt, or distraction, do not care how strong you are in a single moment. They know that anyone can be strong when they are inspired. Anyone can resist for a day, a week, or even a month. But the real question is, will you stay consistent? Will you keep fighting even when the excitement is gone? That is where most people fail. Demons thrive in inconsistency. They wait for the moment when your emotions fade. They watch to see if your commitment was just a temporary burst of energy or a lifelong discipline. If you only rely on strength, you will eventually fall. But if you rely on discipline, you become untouchable. Because discipline is a system. It is a set of rules you follow no matter how you feel. Think about it. A person who only works hard when they feel inspired will never outlast a person who works hard no matter what. A person who only prays when they feel desperate will never be as powerful as the one who prays as a daily habit. A person who only resists temptation when they feel strong will eventually give in when they feel weak. Strength comes and goes, but discipline remains, and that is what demons fear. Because discipline means you don't negotiate. You don't allow your feelings to dictate your actions. You don't ask yourself, do I feel like doing this today? No, you do it because it is who you are. You stay focused even when distractions come. You stay committed even when no one is watching. And that is what makes you dangerous. The truth is, demons don't need to defeat you. They just need to make you inconsistent. They just need to make you question your routines. The moment you start skipping your disciplines, the moment you allow small compromises, they gain control. Not because they are stronger than you, but because they made you weaker than your habits. But a disciplined person is different. They are unshaken. They don't wait for motivation, they create it. They don't seek validation, they stay focused. They don't depend on moments of strength. They build systems that make them unstoppable. And that is why demons fear discipline, because once you master it, nothing can break you. You can't defeat what you keep entertaining. You cannot overcome something that you constantly allow back into your life. You cannot break free from a habit you still justify. You cannot escape a toxic cycle if you continue to participate in it. The greatest mistake people make is believing they can fight something while still feeding it. They convince themselves they have control, that they can stop whenever they want, that they are stronger than the thing pulling them down. But as long as they allow it space, it will never lose power. The truth is, what you tolerate will eventually take over. If you give attention to your distractions, they will grow. If you give excuses to your bad habits, they will strengthen. If you continue to justify the things that are destroying you, they will destroy you faster. The battle isn't just about fighting. It's about refusing to give room to the very thing you claim to be against. Many people wonder why they can't move forward, why they keep struggling with the same temptations, the same fears, the same weaknesses. But the real question is, have they truly let go? Or do they keep the door slightly open, just in case? You cannot defeat an enemy you secretly admire. You cannot overcome an addiction you still crave. You cannot outgrow a past you keep revisiting. And this is where most people fail, not in their ability to fight, but in their refusal to walk away. They hold on to what is familiar, even when it is destructive. They entertain the thoughts, the temptations, the distractions, believing they can balance both the battle and the indulgence. But you cannot win that way. Winning requires complete separation. It requires a firm decision. It requires starving the thing that is trying to consume you. It requires starving the thing that is trying to consume you. This is why true transformation does not begin with effort. It begins with elimination. You don't overcome what you still engage with. You don't heal in the same environment that broke you. You don't change by holding on to what you should be cutting off. Real change requires a ruthless commitment to removing anything that weakens you, no matter how comfortable it feels. So, if you are wondering why your battles feel endless, ask yourself this. Are you still entertaining what you should be eliminating? Are you still making space for what you say you want to overcome? Because as long as you do, the battle will never end. You will always find yourself in the same cycle, the same struggle, fighting the same demons, not because they are stronger than you, but because you never truly let them go. The moment you stop entertaining what is destroying you, you take its power away. The moment you decide that your future is more important than your comfort, you start winning. And that is the only way to truly defeat what has been holding you back. The most dangerous demons wear familiar faces. They do not come as obvious threats. They do not announce their arrival with fire and fury. Instead, they come disguised as comfort, as old habits, as people you once trusted. They do not knock on your door with warnings. They slip in unnoticed, blending into your life so seamlessly that you don't even realize they are there until they have taken hold of you. This is what makes them dangerous, not their strength, but their subtlety. The enemy that shouts is easy to recognize, but the one that whispers, the one that speaks in a voice you trust, is far more deadly. It is the friend who encourages your bad decisions under the guise of support. It is the habit you justify because it feels like a part of you. It is the thought patterns that keep you trapped, repeating the same cycles, convincing you that change is impossible. People often look for demons in the darkness, expecting them to appear as obvious threats. But the most destructive ones are the ones that feel familiar. They are the temptations that look like opportunities. They are the distractions that seem harmless. They are the relationships you hold on to even when they drain your spirit. They do not fight you directly. They make you comfortable. They convince you to stay where you are. They make you believe that they are not the problem. And that is why they are so hard to defeat. Because how do you fight what feels like home? How do you walk away from something that has been with you for so long? How do you let go of what has shaped you? This is why so many people stay trapped, not because they lack strength, but because they lack awareness. They do not see the danger in the familiar. They do not recognize that what feels safe is actually the thing that is keeping them from growth. The hardest battles are not the ones against the obvious enemies. They are the ones that require you to question everything you have known, to look at your own thoughts and ask, are they really serving me? To look at the people in your life and ask, are they pushing me forward or holding me back? To look at your own habits and ask, am I feeding my future or my downfall? The most dangerous demons do not come to scare you, they come to stay with you. They come disguised as love, as nostalgia, as the past that still lingers. And until you recognize them for what they are, they will keep controlling you, not by force, but by comfort. The only way to defeat them is to see them clearly, to refuse to let the familiar hold you hostage, and to walk away, even when it hurts. Because not everything that feels safe is good for you, and sometimes the greatest danger is the thing you never questioned. You don't destroy darkness by fighting it, you outgrow it. Darkness is not something you defeat with force. It is not something you wrestle with endlessly, hoping to overpower it. The more you fight it, the more you engage with it, the deeper it takes root in your life. Darkness feeds on attention. It thrives when you focus on it, when you give it energy, when you make it the center of your battle. But the truth is, the way to overcome darkness is not to fight it. It is to rise above it. Think about it. You do not remove shadows by attacking them. You remove them by increasing the light. The stronger the light, the weaker the darkness becomes. It does not disappear because you pushed it away. It disappears because it can no longer exist in the presence of something greater. The same is true for the struggles, the temptations, the fears, and the negativity in your life. You do not overcome them by constantly fighting against them. You overcome them by becoming something so strong, so focused, so full of purpose that they no longer have a place in your life. Many people spend their entire lives fighting the same battles, struggling with the same demons, caught in the same cycles. They believe that if they just try harder, if they resist more, if they put more effort into the fight, they will eventually win. But they don't realize that true victory does not come through resistance, it comes through transformation. You don't defeat addiction by fighting the urge every day. You defeat it by becoming the kind of person who no longer needs it. You don't escape toxic relationships by arguing and proving yourself. You escape them by growing into someone who no longer tolerates them. You don't silence self-doubt by battling your thoughts. You silence it by stepping into confidence so fully that doubt has no place left to exist. Darkness wants you to fight because fighting keeps you in the same place. It keeps you focused on what you are trying to escape rather than on where you are trying to go. The key is to shift your energy. Instead of fighting the things that hold you back, invest in the things that move you forward. Instead of resisting the old, build the new. Instead of trying to break free from something, grow into something that no longer needs it. This is why the most powerful transformation happens not when you defeat your past, but when you outgrow it. Not when you conquer your fears, but when you become so bold that fear loses its grip. Not when you battle negativity, but when you surround yourself with so much positivity that negativity fades on its own. You do not destroy darkness. You make it irrelevant. You do not need to fight it. You need to rise above it. And when you do, it disappears. Not because you pushed it away, but because you became too strong for it to remain. Powerful people don't negotiate with demons. They starve them. They do not entertain destructive thoughts, entertain toxic people, or allow negative habits to linger in their lives. They understand that demons, whether in the form of fear, addiction, self-doubt, or destructive influences, survive on the energy you give them. The more you engage, the stronger they become. The more you argue with them, justify them, or attempt to manage them, the deeper they sink their claws into your life. Weak people try to control their demons. They believe they can balance between feeding their bad habits and still living a productive life. They convince themselves that they have power over the very things that enslave them. But powerful people know better. They do not entertain what destroys them. They do not try to reason with their weaknesses. They do not make excuses for their distractions. They cut them off completely. The moment you start negotiating with a demon, you have already lost ground. The moment you try to justify keeping a toxic relationship, a self-destructive habit, or a limiting belief, you have already given it permission to stay. Demons don't leave because you ask them nicely. They don't disappear because you try to set boundaries with them. They leave because you starve them. Starving a demon means removing its source of power. If your demon is fear, you stop feeding it with hesitation and doubt. If your demon is addiction, you stop giving it room to control your decisions. If your demon is negative self-talk, you stop reinforcing it by surrounding yourself with environments that keep you small. Demons do not thrive in places where they are ignored. They weaken when you refuse to acknowledge them, when you refuse to give them a voice in your life. Powerful people understand that discipline is the key to starving demons. They do not rely on motivation because motivation fades. They do not wait for the right moment because hesitation creates weakness. Instead, they create habits that automatically push out anything that does not align with their growth. They build routines that leave no room for distraction. They set standards that do not accommodate compromise. They do not wait for the strength to fight. They eliminate the need to fight altogether. The reason so many people struggle with the same battles year after year is because they are still negotiating. They are still allowing their demons a seat at the table. They are still giving them just enough to survive. But the truth is, anything you tolerate will continue to exist. Anything you entertain will remain. If you want to be free, stop feeding what is holding you back. Stop justifying what is keeping you weak. Stop giving attention to what drains you. The moment you refuse to engage, you take back control. The moment you cut off its supply, it begins to die. And that is how powerful people win. Not by fighting their demons, but by making sure they have nothing left to live on. Powerful people understand that victory is not found in constant struggle, but in strategic elimination. They do not waste energy fighting battles that can be avoided. They do not negotiate with demons, justify their weaknesses, or entertain what drains them. Instead, they cut off the source of negativity, refusing to feed what no longer serves them. Whatever you nurture will grow, and whatever you starve will die. If you continue to give power to your fears, doubts, and distractions, they will consume you. But if you deny them attention, if you refuse to engage, justify, or tolerate their presence, they will wither away. True strength is not about battling demons. It is about starving them out of existence. You don't win by wrestling with your struggles. You win by rising above them. Take control, refuse to negotiate, and starve anything that weakens you. Thank you for your time, and may you walk in power.